491 would allow people who are getting married to designate their officiant on their license application, and that to have that officiant be approved to perform your marriage. This is designed to streamline the process when you have a civil celebrant. Typically what happens now is you petition the court for approval. The court may grant that approval, but they don't have to. I've had one case after this bill was filed, someone came to me and said that their officiant was denied because he was not affiliated with a particular church. There have also been cases where you have had a minister who is not affiliated with a particular congregation. They are an ordained minister, but because they didn't have a congregation, either a different standard applied to them, or in some cases they weren't allowed. This was brought to me by a friend of mine who is here, I think testified, who happens to be Delegate Levine, as a constituent, who has performed a number of ceremonies, I think over 8. And I'll let him sort of explain why he brought the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Delegates McClellan and Levine. I've actually been authorized 10 times by the courts in Roanoke and Alexandria to perform weddings at the request of couples who either had me as their first choice or had me as their second choice because their first choice was not eligible or it was not possible to get them here in time. Basically, this bill just allows people to have on the most special day of their lives the person who they want standing in front of them. Current Virginia law has 6 different categories of officiants with 6 different combinations of requirements. And the bottom line is that no matter how you get to be an officiant, all you have to do, the only requirement you have under law, is to sign the piece of paper and return it to the court. So whether you're a minister, a non-minister, a judge, whether you're a minister with a congregation or without a congregation, there is no requirement as to your fitness, your character, or what you're supposed to do to make sure that folks are married. So rather than make a good number of officiants jump through the hoops that cost hundreds of dollars and take some time and rather obscure judicial process, this bill simply allows the couple to say who they would like to be their officiant. This has nothing whatsoever to do with who can get married or what officiant or whether an officiant has to do a marriage. There's some other bills like that, and this is not related to those. I spoke with the legislative chair and the legislative representative of the Court Clerks Association. They've reviewed the bill extensively. I've answered their questions, and they've agreed not to take any position on this bill. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Pfeiffer. Is anybody else going to testify specifically to your bill? Okay, and then Delegate Lee, do you want to present just the difference, what your bill does that Delegate McClellan's doesn't do?
First of all, I should note that I am the chief co-patron of Delegate McClellan's bill, and she's the chief co-patron of my bill because they are so similar. And I will also tell you that if you have a choice, pass her bill. I like her bill better than my own. The reason that I put forward my bill, frankly, is it tracks a bill that my predecessor, Robert Pica, put forward last year, and that's why it came out this way. The differences between our bills are really, really minor. My bill allows them to charge up to $100. Delegate McClellan's bill, which I prefer it, says there shouldn't be a charge. Frankly, I prefer hers because it basically says, if you want your dad to marry you, or your old family friend, or your cousin, or someone who you and your wife have known for a long time, just let it happen. The state shouldn't be choosing that. That shouldn't really be the business of the state. So I strongly support the bill. Again, if you want to charge up to $100. The other difference in my bill is it says if you're an elected official, all of us on the subcommittee, or a judge, or a mayor, or something, then you wouldn't be charged $100. I say make it simpler, adopt Jennifer McClellan's version, and just let people marry whoever they want. But if you want to charge up to $100, that's what my bill does.
All right, Delegate Levine's bill is a bill done for PICA that we heard before and did not have to pay with. Sounds to me like you're okay with laying your bill on the table.
As long as you pass hers.
I'm not making that promise, so we won't lay your bill on the table just yet.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else here to speak to the bill or bills? Do you, if you had to choose, you would go with the McClellan bill, right?
Yes, I think it's more straightforward.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I think the question for the subcommittee is, do the current ways you get to become a marriage officiant, are they sufficient or not? And we've heard versions of this bill at different times in this subcommittee. All right,
Chairman,
delegates,
can somebody educate me on law and how it got to be that way? I mean, I remember when I did one ceremony, I had, huh? Oh, I see. And I had a petition for, they qualified me for that one ceremony.
that's right.
I did. But there are a whole bunch of people out there who are called officiants, who make a little money doing it. And I don't know if they have a blanket authorization or not.
I can answer that
Yeah,
question.
and so I don't know how it got to be the way it is. There's an existing statute about ministers, and then this is the statute of non-ministers. And I mean, the statute is what it is. There's a petition to the court, way to go, and then there's a retired judge, way to go.
And I should tell you from others, and it's like,
Levine.
Craig is my constituent, but there are others who talk to me about it. The current procedure, you have to go before a judge. It takes time from our courts, who frankly would rather be doing a more important task. They go and they find out if you're okay to officiate for your own friends who've chosen you to do this. You have to put forward a $500 bond. That's not just $500. You have to go and get a bond. It's incredibly onerous. The judge, one of the cases that came to me asked a number of questions that really, it's just a question of if you want your friend to marry you and both parties want that, just let it happen. I think it's a waste of time for our courts and a waste of money for time.
So I'll quibble with one small comment there. The requirement of bond is a $500 with or without a surety bond. A $500 without a surety bond is really signing a piece of paper right there in the courtroom. There's no getting a bond. But yeah, okay. The bills before that, yes, Mr. Vice Chairman.
One of the problems, though, is that people who want their friends to do their weddings don't even know that this option is available, and then when they find out, they don't really know how to petition a court. They don't know how to write a bond that has surety or not surety. I actually had one case where the clerk asked me to put up my house as a bond. So it's really inconsistently applied, inconsistently accessible. It would be a lot simpler if in the same place it says, here's how you get a marriage license. It just says, here's where he doesn't get a petition.
And I would just add, because again, to reiterate the example that was brought to me, under the current procedure, the judge does not have to grant the approval. The judge could just deny it for whatever reason, and then you couldn't have the person you wanted officiating at your wedding.
All right, so just for what it's worth, my thoughts on this is the General Assembly made a policy decision a long time ago to have sort of these certain categories that wouldn't require court involvement, in this case, retired judges and officiants. They opened it up and wanted court approval. We have made a policy decision, this committee in the past, to stick with that existing law. I guess at some point it's going to change, and that may be today and then maybe next year. Right?
I move to support, bill, co-patron 8 week.
I was thinking about whether I should lay it at the table first or not, but that's fine. So we have a motion to report House Bill 703. I looked at the wrong one. Oh, I'm sorry, I looked at your wrong bill, Jennifer. 491. Motion report 491. Well, I actually like the motion. The other bill. Your job is to say second. Maybe a substitute motion laid it on the table. Moved and seconded. That is a non-debatable motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed?
No.
All right, so that bill's laid on the table. Then we have House Bill 1006. Any last words on 1006?
I would just simply say that the council can get up to $100 per person for something that really is just letting people decide. It also, my bill allows all of you in this room, elected officials, to marry your person. If you want to marry your friend, Mr. Chairman, you have to go through this whole rigmarole, file a bond with the board, and $5 and everything. My bill would allow you to do it, no problem, as long as your friends want you to marry them. So this would help certainly improve the city itself.
All right. Delegate moves the report. Delegate Krizek, Delegate McClellan seconds. Delegate Kilgore makes a substitute motion, laid it on the table, seconded by Delegate Leftwich. That's not a debatable motion. Did I get all that right? Right. Everyone has food in their mouth, so I'm trying to speed it up. Okay, all those in favor of laying House Bill 1006 on the table say aye. Aye. Those opposed?
You said no.
Sorry.
All right, House Bill 1006 laid on the table. Thank you.
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
Thank you, sir.
Delegate McClellan.